Tell you what, I like spicy food, but it does not like me.
Yeah, I haven't been eating too much spicy food anymore.
You what?
I haven't been eating spicy food anymore for that reason.
No, I'm gonna have to stop. That's just a killing me. I heard you go, woo-hoo.
That's that you like to be in the dead zone.
Huh?
That says you like to be in the dead zone. So like,
Yeah, that thing gets so close to you, it doesn't show the air nose.
little upsetting, right?
Yes. I know I can't 100% leave the dead zone, but much as possible. The whole time board, nope.
I'm kind of supposed to be.
Nope. Guys,
That's what it's called now.
I don't know, it's going usually the other way around when I see it.
Oh, I don't really manage which way it is for me, so. I can remotely control the volume from my phone. Thanks.
Finding it fine. I know the last recording wasn't very good. For the Zoom.
That's the input volume, the
Oh.
output volume. Yeah, the input volume is kind of, it really is dependent on the speaker, unfortunately. Some people do not speak loudly, but it's taking my voice up here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we do Zoom, we
Something that happened every time. Sorry, you know that I think. We do, and we gotta get to it, you know what happens, when you get voted off. The only downside is that you're. That's true, you have a student ID. Okay. I mean, we have. That's not the- Okay. Very
Whether we've been to the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you have good news, Montana West. Come on in.
Where do you want us, just?
Right here,
Okay,
right in the middle.
Right in the middle?
Yeah, we can measure it out here if you want.
Okay. It's just, the height wise is disproportionate, so
Yes, share.
I need like an Eiffel Tower type, yeah, I'm small. Well,
I wanted to bring this up. Band parents suggested this to me as well, but I just wanted to recognize the hard work that the marching band has been doing these past few years, especially this year alone. I don't know how many of you know this, but the marching band this year is 51% freshmen. So it's like an entirely new group this year. And each time, I mean, they have just been kicking it over and over and over again. I mean, they're excited to do things. They love doing the football games. They just have really good enthusiasm and they've just been working so hard. And they deserve to have a lot more recognition than they get, in my personal opinion. So I just wanted to kind of give this big shout out to them. The band parents wanted to give this big shout out to them. They did the AFAD parade this past weekend, and I always forget that when you are put into the parade that you can win an award. So Cassie Nordine sent me a frantic message that you need to get down to Carl Miller because the band won first place. And I didn't believe her. I was like, wait, first place for what? And I go, oh, that's right. So I hightail it down there. And I got told by the Chamber of Commerce, we were kind of disappointed that you weren't here to actually get it when we announced it. I go, sorry, the whole deal. But they weren't expecting it. So come Monday, I walk into class and I go, guys, if you feel like you are not doing enough and that you are not, getting the recognition that you think you deserve, this plaque right here is just the beginning. They go to competition next week in Minico, so I'm really excited for them. And they've come a long way. They're playing some really challenging music. They're pushing forward, and they're just really representing their school the best way that they know how to, which is through music and through band and doing something that they're passionate about and that they love. So I really just wanted to acknowledge that they are working very hard and they are continuously dedicated, and that it's going to be something that's going to continue on for many years to come, regardless of if it's all freshmen or all seniors. It doesn't matter. These kids know what it means to be a Tiger. So it's awesome. And these are my drum majors, by the way. They're pretty important.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we can get a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? I think we get a motion to approve the consent agenda unless later on something pulled out for discussion. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? No deliberation, public input. Force, all right, Tom.
All right, speak.
That's too fast.
So I was gonna start with good news too. So a couple of exciting things have happened over the last couple of weeks. We got to take some of the seniors out last week at education fair and kind of let them tour a couple colleges and see some scholarship options for them as well. And it really had a really fun time. And of course, it can't just be all education. We went and sparkled in a little bit of roller skating and ping pong and all that kind of stuff in there as well. And they seem to have had a really good day. And then another thing that has happened recently is we started the literature program at East Elementary. And the goal of this program is basically to start it at East, and if we can expand it to West and North and Stevenson, we would love to do that. But this is kind of founded by our military men and women, and this was all their idea. And they go out and they read to kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth graders at East Elementary, and the kids absolutely love it. The teachers love it. It's a good way for the military, the teachers, and the kids to all kind of get together. And we had our first one last Friday, and it was absolutely amazing. And the kids had so much fun, and we hope to continue this and maybe branch it out to the other schools within the district as well. And that's really about it. We have our next PAB meeting November the 9th. The time is to be determined. We do have a new MIC3 military interstate commissioner. His name is Spencer Garzi. He's absolutely amazing. He's very involved, and he wants to really just do what he can with the district. So he's pretty awesome. And I think that's really about it. I also just want to thank everybody for welcoming me to the district. I have really got to meet some amazing people, and I'm just really excited to be here and be a part of it. So thank you so much for everybody just welcoming me, and go Tigers and Bears. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Nikki Cruz, presentation for West Elementary.
That's my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna stand and do this, so, I'm gonna present about West Elementary tonight. So I'm gonna start off with just a little bit of data from last year. This is our, math ISAT for 3rd and 4th grade. Our scores are getting better. We're slowly creeping up each year, and we're pretty excited about it. We met at the end of last year, we talked about, we had a few classes that did really well, and so we talked about what kinds of things were happening in those classes that were different. And we're gonna start looking at those things for this year to carry them through. So this is our math ISAT data and our ELA ISAT data, and you can see we compared it to the school district and to Idaho overall. The next thing I'm gonna show you is our last year's iStations math. This is K through 4 from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. We want our students anywhere in the green. And so you can see we showed growth over the year. We grew more in math than we do in reading last year. And I don't know why, but we tend to flip flop. I don't know if it's because we focus on the one that we did low in the year before and then something slips in the other subject, but that's our math. And here's our reading. And this is where we are right now for this year. We've only taken, well, we just started taking this, this month, ISAT this month, but this is our August information, for math. And you can see our kindergartners are starting out kind of low, but not horribly low. Over 50% of them are in the green. So we're hoping to keep that going. And then there's our reading data. And just so you know, if you haven't looked at the enrollment, we have 561 students. So we're also trying to figure all of that out this year. So let's talk about what is new this year for West. Well, first of all, we have new classrooms. We got 3 new portables. They're double portables, so they're 2 classrooms each. And that's a picture of the outside and the inside. It's been a learning process for all of us. When we first moved into them, we had to figure out where were they gonna line up? How are they gonna come in the building? How are they gonna use the bathrooms? Karen has been making badges like crazy because we have them badge into the bathroom. We have them badge out of the bathroom. They badge into the gym to come to the office. They're carrying these badges all around the place, and we didn't want to give each student a badge in case they lost it. But we're trying to figure that out as well. We also got new AC and heating units in our building, which has been amazing. That's the one in my office. I'll tell you, it's been great. I don't go home at the end of the day looking like I just crawled out of the swamp from the swamp cooler. So we're very happy about our AC and heating. We started some paraprofessional development training this year. Our counselors, Ms. Moore and Mrs. Crenshaw, have been started working with the paraprofessionals, just talking with our paras about how to work with children, how to talk with children. If they pick up on something that they think one of us should know, they can go about those conversations. We just started that 2 weeks ago, and that's been going really well. Also new this year, we have some new staff members. Mr. Gilbert's let us hire a 5th first grade teacher, so we now have 4 4th grade, 5 first grade, 5 second grade, and 4 3rd and 4th grade teachers. So there's our new staff for the year. We have Miss Moore 4 days a week as our counselor, and we absolutely love it. And then we also have Miss Crenshaw. She is our MPLAT counselor, and she is also there 4 days a week, and they have been doing a lot of stuff together as a team, and it's been great. We now finally have 2 full-time custodians, which has been made a huge difference for us. A lot of the times Martine was by himself cleaning the entire building, and so we were skipping rooms, and teachers were requesting vacuums on their wish list so that they could help out. And now that we have Marcy and Martine working full-time, it's been great. Our building has never looked so amazing. A few changes. So we've done social groups for the last probably 6 years, and our paras ran the social groups, and they were for students who just needed extra help in making friends, extra help in making good choices in the classroom, anything that you could possibly think of. This year, Miss Moore and Miss Crenshaw have taken over the social groups, and they've scheduled them throughout the day. And so you can see this is a first grade group. I love that they have them sitting in their hula hoops so that they're staying in their own bubble, because some of them are working on staying in their own space. And so they meet with the students 2 to 3 days a week for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the grade. We're starting data meetings this year. Each grade level will meet with Jamie Vick to go over their iStations data. We're going to start those in 2 weeks. And then RTI is looking a little different. Jamie Vick has been working on aligning RTI across the district. And this is a picture of Erin Akaragi using Heggerty, which is a new program that we're using in reading. And she was teaching the students the different signs that they need to learn. It's kind of funny because the teachers are having to learn the signs themselves. And so they've been watching videos, and then Erin actually showed the students the videos to make sure she was doing it correctly as well. But the students are really engaged, even the higher level students were engaged in this program, and so it's been going really well in classes. A few things that we've kept the same. We still have our same expectations at West Elementary. We work hard, stay kind, and keep safe. It covers everything. We are continuing on with our character traits of the month. This month we have self-control, and so I've asked the teachers to take 5 to 10 minutes a day to talk about whatever the character trait of the month is. This is Mrs. Young's class. She does a morning meeting every morning, and the students do a check-in, and so they show her 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and then they can share with her how they're feeling that day. They don't have to, but they can if they want. And then they talk about whatever the character trait of the day is. The teachers have open access to however they want to do that. They can show videos, they can have class discussions, whatever it is, however they want to do it. I just ask them to take a short time each day. I also do a daily announcements every morning, and I do a quote for whatever the character trait of the month is. We're continuing on with positive actions. Miss Kelly is a teacher that comes to us twice a week. It's a grant that we put in for every year. She comes in and she meets with the kindergartners, first graders, and second graders for 15 minutes, and the third and fourth graders for 30 minutes. And they read books like How to Fill My Bucket, and they talk about different things like that. And that's a 16-week program that she helps us out with. Check in, check out. We do check in, check out each day with a handful of our students. Again, it's for students who need that extra support. Maybe they need to work on staying focused in class, or getting their homework turned in, or working on their work, whatever it may be. We even have students on attendance check-in, check-out, and recess check-in, check-out. They go and meet with one of our paraprofessionals in the morning. They talk about what their goal is for the day. They get a few fish crackers. You give them a little pep talk, and off they go. They get their check-in, check-out sheet, and it's broken into half-an-hour chunks, and they can earn a needs work, an okay, or a wow. And then at the end of the day, they go back to that same adult. They talk about, how did you do today? They add up their points. If they made their goal, they get a few pieces of candy. And if they didn't, they talk about what can we do different the next day. This gives the students access to another adult in the building to kind of build that relationship. And it's pretty powerful with most of our students. Students working together. I found over the last couple of years, a lot of our 4th grade students teachers will pair up with our kindergarten and our 1st grade classes to do reading reading buddies or activities. This group is Mrs. Holloway's group and Miss Elliott's group. The Mrs. Holloway's group is our 4th graders, and they take the 1st graders out and they go through their reading list each day. And so then they just sit with each of the students and they meet with each of them. It's kind of funny, some of the 4th graders like, I can't work with this kid, I don't know what to do with them. And I'm like, yes, you're right, they are. And then library and music. As you know, we have not had a music teacher for the last couple of years. But last year, Mrs. Riley, our librarian, took on teaching library and music, so she alternates we do 3 days on and 3 days off. She uses Quaver, which is the music program, but she even taught herself how to play the recorder last year, and she taught the 4th graders how to play the recorder, so that was pretty cool. So we've kept music going to the best of our ability. And then my last thought. Mr. Tezar has brought us in on the Tiger Strong, and now we're working to be Bengal Strong. We are working on bringing in the You Are More into West Elementary. We started selling the t-shirts for our kids. Yesterday I posted it and we sold 10 in like an hour. I posted it only on social media. I did not send it out through a Blackboard, and parents were coming in within an hour. They were super excited that we were picking up this, so we're pretty excited about that. And then our carnival was last Friday. So our carnival was kind of a little bit of a craziness. My father-in-law passed away 2 weeks ago, and my husband and his brothers decided it would be a great idea to have the service on Carnival Day. So I was just a tad bit stressed out about the whole thing, but I emailed a handful of staff and they stepped up and they did amazing. No one even knew I was gone. so I might be gone next year. But they did an awesome job. We counted money today, and I think we made about $8,000, which is the most we've made so far. Everyone has tons of fun, and it's a lot for the community, so we appreciate everyone's support. That's all I have. Lonnie's timing me, so. You have any questions?
What's the security like at the portables, the new portables we have?
So the doors are bad, you have to badge into the actual doors. We do have the fence blocks them off. They're not completely fenced in, but they're fenced in onto the playground, and you have to badge into the doors. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, very good. Superintendent's report, Mr. Gilbert.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, let me plug in here. So you've got a copy of this, and this was already in our consent agenda. This is the continuous improvement plan for 23-24, which is a requirement from the State Board of Ed, and is also required through the Idaho legislature. So this year, what I did, I wanted to add a literacy component in here, as I think that with the effort that we're making, investing heavily in K-3 literacy, that it would be good to have this in our continuous improvement plan. So on this document, that anything that I've highlighted in yellow is a change from last year, and some of these are pretty minor. The college and career readiness one there, those two, same strategy in there. We just removed the percentage of increase that we're looking for, and part of that is, if you look at number C there, students taking career technical ed classes will increase from the previous year. We used to have 5% in there. The problem that we're finding is we don't have enough offerings anymore. We haven't expanded offerings to increase by that amount every year. And so it is part of what we need to look at as we expand career technical education, is how we bring programs in to increase those opportunities. So that was the change there. High school and junior high preparedness on B and D there, just talking about the opportunities for at-risk kids. B was similar to last year. I just made sure we had the Tiger Learning Center in there that addresses specifically junior high. And then on D, we've got established alternative placement center at Bennett Mountain for fall of 23, and that's currently up and running and working well. If you jump down to facilities and technology, there were some changes there. The biggest is we're updating our 10-year facility plan. Albert's working diligently on identifying any projects right now that are going to be over the $50,000 mark. Those are probably projects that will need to be included in some type of bond or levy. That process, as we continue, will go through our community advisory board for community input on what the community would look at supporting with some of those renovations that we know need to occur. And then the big one is adding number 5 in K-3 literacy. And so we do have some specific indicators there, A, B, C, D, and E. And those tie into, Nikki showed the data for West, and I have give each a copy of this, just so we can discuss what that looks like. So this is iStation data for August,
as you may have heard, ice station data for last year from ice station was messed up. So the state department released the information on that. The vendor, there was an algorithm mistake that caused all the data statewide to be incorrect. I do believe they've got that issue corrected now, but this is really what I'm gonna present this to you each month so that you can compare growth from 1 month to the next. Remember on this, let me see if I've got this pulled up. So on that chart, green is good. That's what we want is students scoring in that green area. Green is at grade level. And so in those, the continuous improvement plan, the growth that we're looking at is we want 10% growth for students that are in level 1 and level 2. So those are low grade level readers. And then for kids that are in levels 3, 4, and 5, we're looking for 5% growth. So the big thing with this is identifying those interventions that are effective, implementing those with continuity across the district. And then in there also knowing that 80% of our students should receive their primary instruction through our core curriculum on there. So with adding that K-3 literacy goal, I feel very confident that as this is reported each month, the board will have the ability to see how impactful our curriculum and intervention is in moving kids through those levels that they have. It's a little different this year. Last year it started out, there were 3 levels, and then they've changed it to 5 levels now, which changes some of that data a little bit. But again, our goal is to move kids into that green zone. So I just wanted to share that with you, that the ice station data is what I'll be reporting each month. And what I'll do is I'll take the previous month and current month so that you can see that. You don't have September right now because the testing window just opened back up for ice station, so we do not have September data yet. So that is all I have.
We have a couple of questions on that. First, with the plan, with the facilities and technology area. I know I was also working on a safety and security plan. But I don't see that anywhere in there. Can we add that under the facilities and technology for strategies and indicators? I think it ties in also with it's gonna tie in with our facilities plan for upgrades and stuff too, but I think it's good to have the two separate. The other question I got is on the ISAT stuff. So we know green is good. So level 4 and 5, how far above grade level is that? Do we know?
Do you have a good answer, Bill?
It's every 20th percentile. So, you're looking at level 1 will be 0 to 20th percentile, and level 2 will be up to the 40th percentile. So anything over 40th percentile will be grade level. So if you're looking at level 5, you're 81st to 100th percentile. If you're,
Okay, that's just where you're at within the grade. Your score is at within grade level then?
Yeah.
So it's not like a.
compared to peers. Yes.
Right, so it's not like saying like they're equivalent to a 5th grade 6 month or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just within the individual grade.
Thanks, Bill. Yes, Mr. Green. Board of Trustees Public Engagement Report. Everybody have any report? So I had a discussion with, a short discussion. I need to sit down with them again and further explain the policy on the, Mark Radigan brought up the name change policy that we have, and he was confused on what's allowed and not allowed based on there. I'm just gonna sit down with them after I just spoke to the word back to the clarity on that. Anybody else? Yeah. All right, unfinished business, additional approval of the school safety and security grant, Mr. Walker.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I am back again for seeking approval for the additional application as part of the school safety and security grant. So, real quick. You're welcome. So there's some money left over for the grant. So we're originally looking at getting some cameras and badge readers for the doors. Unfortunately, those bids have not come in. I think part of the reason for not receiving those bids at this point in time is because everybody else is competing with the same vendors and getting those bids. So part of that process, I have to get board approval for the application. And this phase 1 grant ends next month. So we're looking to use that remaining money for additional radios that we got in that first application. They say that they're going to be a phase 2, and in phase 2, we're going to look at see if we can get those badge readers, cameras, those other things that's been requested by the building admin. So with your approval, we're looking at getting 55 additional radios that we can get back into the schools, along with other additional radios that we've already have coming. So they're on order and just waiting to get out to the buildings.
And the goal is for every room to have a radio.
Not at this point in time. That may be something down the road, but the goal is to have, we have every set team, which is school emergency team member. And we have additional radios where they might be with paras and other duties. This gives us the ability to use the BPR 40s, where analog, where we can use those in conjunction with the new digital radios. So we're getting closer. We just want to be able to use these digital radios to have 10 channels with the display that allow us to communicate with other buildings as needed in case of emergency. So it gives us that mobility communicating. So we go to another building for whatever reason, the admin can talk with each other as needed as we're moving about and working with each other.
Little range on those things, pretty good.
I'm not ready yet, so they're saying that we can talk, they're, Intermountain saying that we can talk between buildings. So it's gonna create probably some issues as far as people not having them on the right channels and start interrupting and talking over each other.
That's pretty impressive.
So there's a lot of other features that those things will do, probably more than we'll ever use as far as, with this technology, but it just opens up the door for us when we're available or ready to do that.
So with these, I got 2 questions. One, so the new one's gonna be able to talk to the one we already have.
Mhm.
And the other one is, have you talked to the base, to their spectrum manager about your frequency availability for Robin and her staff on the radio?
Intermountain basically said that will not be an issue because they're on their own frequency and we will not interrupt with them whatsoever because we're going to be using the same frequency that they have out there. So we're good.
Okay.
I'm just going off what they say.
Yeah.
Any further questions for Helen?
Make a motion to approve?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all. Okay, we can go over now to district open enrollment applications.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, there's 2 out of district open enrollment applications this month. The first is for a student attending Hackwood Middle School. The family resides in Glens Ferry. Second is for a student attending Stevenson Elementary School, and the family resides in Boise. I don't see any issues with either request, so I would ask for your approval of those out of district open enrollment applications.
We'll get a motion to approve the application. Second, all in favor? Any opposed? And there's transportation request,
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we have one into a transportation request. This is for a family that lives in Pine. The student is attending Mount Home Junior High. Again, our buses only travel so far up Highway 20, depending on the weather, and so there are days that that travel will be inhibited, so the family is requesting approval of the in lieu of transportation request.
We get a motion to approve the transportation request. So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, request approval for travel abroad. Let's go. Before you get started, is there still an opening for a chaperone?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk later. So, Mr. Vega, Chairperson and members of the board, I'm so excited to be here. It has been 6 years, well, it will be 6 years. 2019, we had an exchange planned and COVID hit. So our Germans had come in the fall, we had hosted them, and then the reciprocal is true in the following summer. And so our wonderful kids rolled out the red carpet and weren't ever able to experience it for themselves back in Germany. So I'm so excited and crossing my fingers and pressing my thumbs and doing all the things we need to do to hope and pray that everything will be just a normal, course of things. So we will be leaving for Germany on Friday, June 6th, and just got confirmation on airfare last week. And then we'll be back the 22nd, probably the 23rd by the time, the date changes on us. So a good solid 2.5 weeks there. And we're just really looking forward to those experiences for the kids. I included in my letter to you the number of objectives within the state standards that an international experience like this would cover. So you just kind of can't beat it. It's one-stop shopping for all those good things that we want our kids to experience before they leave high school. And just, the world is smaller to them. I mean, they have the world on their devices, but when you take them out into the world, it's a rather different experience. So we're super excited for all of that. I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Our Germans come in just a couple of weeks. So for those of you that may be new to the board since 2019, it's a reciprocal exchange with another high school in the city of Hofgeismar, Germany. And we match our students up who apply for the program with a student from another country, and they host each other. That's what keeps the costs down. So we don't stay in hotels or anything like that. We are basically each other's tour guides, travel agents. We do all of that planning. So none of it goes outside. I do all the planning on this side and that side, and my partner teacher does the planning on that side and this side. So it's really a concerted, a consolidated effort. And the only thing I will tell you this year is that airfare is incredibly increased over 2019. So it'll be a little more of a bare bones exchange, but that's where the families come in and really fill in the gaps, which just makes it still a fantastic experience. So anyway, with that, I'll let you ask questions if you are. I know some of you have been on the board since I've done this, but it's been a couple of years. So
this is about 10 students.
Yeah, this year, because of the way the pandemic ran, I don't have any students right now who are familiar with the program except for a couple siblings. So in a way, it's kind of a rebuilding year. Yeah, normally I have closer to like 20. And so, yeah, this year it'll just be 10 students. And we had a couple hiccups. One of the German students, his father got an incredibly difficult diagnosis just a week ago. So we're going to have a partnerless kid. But when that happens, we just take one kid and share them between 2 students. And then there's enough time before we travel to find a host family for that particular student. And we're not worried about that. And the other thing that we could do again is just double up. So it'll work out. But yeah, this time 10 students. Catherine's son was one of my first and second exchange. And so she kind of knows how that goes too, that occasionally there are little hiccups, but we're hoping for a little bigger group, but that's okay. I figured, 2019 was a long time ago. I'm excited to have 10 solid kids, and they're amazing kids. The kids apply. We have a pretty rigorous application process that we go through. We vet them very, very deeply. We vet their families. We take a look at the accommodations. I know if I were taking any of your kids, you'd want to know what kind of a household they'd be in. So we vet on both sides of the pond here to make sure that they're going to be well taken care of for 2 weeks. So I'll take 10. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Good to have that back. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Questions for Secretary Word Gymnasium?
Oh, gymnasium. It's a hard G. Gymnasium. Yeah, the German school system has 3 tracks, and the gymnasium are your cream of the crop kids. They're probably going to be your engineers, your doctors, your lawyers. So they're a little more of an academic high school, but those kids are super hungry for what we offer in our high schools, which is a lot wider variety, because we're trying to take kids into every possible direction we can, whether it's the work world, the military, the trades, or colleges, obviously. So yeah, they, you know, with the internet, they all want to come and find out that we eat at McDonald's every night and drive monster trucks. So, yeah, so we'll break that down for them.
We can get a motion to approve the travel request presented by Ms. Cook.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not reading this whole thing, so Catherine, 8B is your.
So do you want me to come up there?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we're just bringing up the annual 45-day notice of destruction of records. That keeps us in compliance with both state law and Medicaid requirements. And we have everything organized downstairs. We keep records of any student records. We do shreds. We do have a list of anything that has been shredded, and we only shred. And I just updated the website as well. And we maintain 5 years of records.
Get a motion to approve all of that. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Catherine. You may return to your seat. Determination of ISB resolutions. I think we want to do this in October, didn't we?
Yeah, they were.
But there's only 7. Is that right? I mean, we can kind of go through them now if we want, and then, you know, Stuart, maybe kind of shed light on some if need be. Or we can make a decision on them in October. Just kind of a summary, the ISBA, I think, recommended to pass on all 7, if I remember right. That's great.
The only one that didn't have one was number 6.
Was it neutral right now?
I don't know.
Nothing.
It just didn't have a recommendation on it. The other recommendation comes,
James, is there anything on here that sticks out to you that we should maybe discuss or look out for here?
Well, I think probably, I mean, they're all, obviously, these all have merit to them with coming out of the different boards. I think the one that is going to be the biggest for everybody is the K-12 funding formula principles. So, you know, they're in the process of putting together a new funding formula, and I think these are what they want to be considered within that formula as things that they're looking at guiding that. So, you know, some of these other ones are kind of interesting. The open enrollment and building capacity limits, that's a result of last year's change in state code where everybody has to provide open enrollment. The great debate is what is building capacity. So one of the things that was discussed at one of the superintendent meetings was just because you have open seats in a class in a building does not mean that you have capacity, because your common areas are all dictated by capacity also. And so that's one that I actually think is going to get revisited this year to add some clarification. Is who sets the capacity? Do you go by the fire code on it, or do you go by the physical space available for putting kids into a building? The building capacity limit is an interesting one, because I would venture to say that most schools are probably over capacity. So, you know, how do you have open enrollment if your building is at capacity? And so I know that there's going to be more to come with that. But I do really think that the K-12 funding formula principle is probably going to be a big one.
I was wondering about 5, so placement of school mission with speech language, pathology, and career ladder. Yeah. If that was passed, could that create issues with any other staff outside of those professions that do have experience in their profession.
Yeah, it could. This is about trying to find a way to, make it equitable when we hire. Take a school nurse, there's the way that the district is reimbursed right now is not at what would be considered nurse wages outside of the school system. So that, they try to adjust these so that people who are in these professions may look at joining a school district to provide those services. But at the same time, trying to make it equitable to the districts that are hiring them. Running into this with almost everything we hire, right? So IT was one that came up a few years ago. What's the reality of what schools pay IT people versus what private industry pays IT people? And so it just compounds that shortage, which is the same thing with school nurses and speech pathologists. I mean, they're in short supply.
I can see that argument coming in, you CTE teachers.
Yes.
The teachers that have experience in other industries, that their degree requirements met things that, and now they're teaching, and the state doesn't give them credit for that experience.
Any further questions or discussions, and if not, you guys are okay to table this talk as part of the decision, whether we agree on these or not.
I'll make a motion to table it.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, we want our next month's agenda.
Yes. Thank you, Sharon. All right, discuss, identify, approve the board training from the IPA. So we're gonna go through in that packet. Basically, what, 6 groups, so. I think two that stick out to me, would be continuous improvement plan and then strategic plan. If I had to go, I would probably favor those two over there for.
Continuous improvement in this one.
Strategic plan. That's some pretty good decisions to make here in the next few years, and then just that can help. Any suggestions on any others? Maybe make a top 2, top 3. Those we can always do more too.
I'm gonna stay with those for now, maybe. Kind of interested in what they got for the superintendent one, just to hear what he's got to say on it. They can offer, I mean, I know it says it comes with an evaluation tool, but you can.
Maybe those 3.
like the strategic planning because it also includes the community involvement. And we always, more recently than not, are trying to make that a high priority, so.
Well, Sharon, I think those would be our top three. I don't know if you just wanna.
Okay, so it's the continuous improvement plan, strategic plan, and superintendent evaluation.
That work for everybody?
How soon would you like training to start?
See if I can just check.
Yeah, I mean, what they're planning and their convention on the health, if they're one October. And if so, then you're not one out,
I'll ask them, that might be a little bit difficult because they are trying to prep for November, but.
in that case, yeah, that's. It's gonna be well after it's. You mentioned maybe in January. We get a motion to approve those three as the top three for the training. Still move.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we get a motion to go into executive session. Still moving.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We get a roll call.
Oh. Trustee Knox? Aye. Trustee Perez?
Aye.
Trustee Bain?
Aye.
Trustee Donahue?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman?
Aye. We are in executive session. I think.
I thought I had to go that in there.
Nice.